All right, on today's episode, we have Saritta Hines, the founder and CEO of TRUSTABIT, along with Shana Sanford, the owner of CTRL+S Communications. We've got quite a show for y'all, so strap up. It's going to be a wild ride.
No love and there's no grub. We got the homeless saying, y'all better come my way, y'all better come my way, okay, and say, y'all better come my way, I'ma make it statement.
All right, and we are back on Jam Packed, and we've got a special duo with us today. We've got the founder and CEO of TRUSTABIT, which is a mobilizing the traveling consumer using blockchain technology to automatically issue compensation to passengers quickly and easily and securely when their flights have been delayed. So TRUSTABIT is a flight disruption solution that proactively sends notification to passengers during flight delays and enables airlines to issue digital meal or transportation vouchers to their smartphones to be redeemed with local vendors in the terminal. There are two key benefits to their solution, which is the first is brand loyalty, and their research shows that net promoter scores are significantly lower when passengers experience disruptions, and TRUSTABIT can turn those disruptions into an opportunity to improve the passenger experience, which I love that idea all off top. So TRUSTABIT will change the way we travel through technology, and they've been around for the last 3 years and some change. She's also been in the tech world for over 14 years, and you may have seen her in a Windows 10 Pro commercial series highlighting the various Microsoft products that help keep the business running smoothly. And next to her, we've got the branding and communications company, the CEO and owner of CTRL+S Communications, which is a branding and communications company with two combined skills that turned into a creation for their 10-year-old daughter, Evan. Her company's name is WONDERPENS, and WONDERPENS is the first premier acrylic paint pens made for creators by creators. So also a little bit more about CTRL+S. They found their footing and the need for successful brands to integrate diversity into their company culture and policies. Her company creates a safe space to help companies discuss difficult subject matters in a thoughtful and authentic way, even providing diversity and inclusion workshops, which stemmed from the work that she did with BJ's Restaurant, the PR team, and their company with their internal communications surrounding Black Lives Matters, leading to BJ's donating $30,000 to the Equal Rights Initiative and will make annual donations to organizations that support efforts to end systemic injustice for the next 5 years, which is awesome. And they've also provided a startup service, email marketing, media, and influencer outreach, as well as copywriting and editing through CTRL+S Communications. And her roots are in public relations with a passion for crafting authentic messages. Folks, I bring to y'all Saritta Hines and Shana Sanford. Woo! How y'all doing?
Intro. That was amazing.
Cool, man.
That was great.
Man, y'all are too smart for me. How are y'all doing?
Good.
How has quarantine life been treating y'all?
Yeah, it took, we had to make some changes.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody is dealing with that, but going as well as it could be. Yeah.
So y'all's drink of choice was champagne. Yeah, you got the champagne.
Alcohol-free eggnog.
Evan's got the eggnog on decky. So the game of choice, so the game that we're going to play today is Heads Up. And you guys have downloaded the app on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants first dibs? Saritta, you want to go first?
Yeah, I can do that.
Have y'all ever played Heads Up before?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have, but long ago.
All right, so Saritta is the first to go up. Heads Up, so we're going to play the pop culture deck of Heads Up. So what you do is you put the phone on your forehead, and we're going to give you clues without saying what's on the phone screen. I'm the queen of accidentally reading what's on the screen, so we're not gonna read what's on the phone screen. And if you get it right, you're gonna put the phone screen down so that you get the correct points. So if you get it correct, we've got to take a sip. Evan's got to take some eggnog. I'm gonna have some champagne. Shanna's gonna have some champagne. Now, if you get it, if you have to pass, if you're like, I just can't get it, I just don't know what clues you're giving me. Then you got to take a drink, and then we pass. So, but to pass, you got to put the phone back like that, and then you got to take a sip of your drink, and then we'll move forward like that, and then we'll play the different rounds. Okay? So you'll get the first round, and then next round we'll
So when you go like this,
We gotta see.
So you put it down if it's right, and then put it up like that's right. I got the heads up guru back here. Okay, so we're gonna Jam-Packed Fun is we're gonna see how all this goes. So it's the first virtual experience. All
Okay,
right.
so I need help. Is this the beginning?
Go up. So the deck should look like this one. Do you see that one? I know that's really small.
Yeah, okay. So, like, you click it.
Yeah. And then you hit play. Yeah.
Play.
come here.
Oh, turn on instant replays. Okay. Oh, here we go. Place on forehead. All right.
Okay, cool.
Wait, but I can see this, right? Okay, no, but I shouldn't. Oh, just don't look. Okay. Here, let's minimize our window. I won't look at it.
I don't know.
Who is?
You guys are supposed to be helping me with this, right? I have no idea who that is.
I don't know who that is. I'll drink for you.
I don't know this man. I'm sorry to this man.
Yeah, pass.
Okay. We gotta pass.
Yeah, you got to pass. So you put it. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Video game, violent video game.
Mortal Kombat.
Street Fighter.
It's
Shooting,
violent.
military.
Yes. Call of Duty?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, so that means y'all have to do it, right?
We got to take another drink. Oh, what is that? One Direction? Dreamboat of One Direction.
One Direction. Oh, watermelon sugar. Wait, no, is that?
Time's up. Time's up.
Okay, so let's hear it now.
Yeah, so you can put the phone down. So you're good. Yeah, that was our round. So Saritta, Saritta, your background is so exciting and interesting to me. The way you started in technology is actually super dope and, in a sense, meant to be. At the age of 8, one day your mom brought home a computer and you accidentally broke it. And instead of her getting mad, your mom told you, it's okay, just fix it. And it took, you like how I just channeled that just now?
Yeah.
And it took you 2 summers to fix the computer. But this experience introduced you to technology and you've been fascinated ever since. In that moment, what was it about fixing the computer that kept you intrigued and working on it for 2 summers?
I think it was because I had always liked to play video games, so I kind of looked at it like it was a video game or something, and I wanted to try to get it to work so I can play a game. So this game it came on my and there was this bunny, and you had to move the arrow, get him. It was like these things that were going like that, and he had to jump inside of each one. Crazy game, but I wanted to play that game. It's like, if I can figure out a way to line up these components and remember actually what I broke and try to put it together. It was just, the power was on. So it's just the power. And then it was like, oh, it was something else like, okay, well, now the printer works. It's like, oh, great, the printer works. And it was just like,
Now, TRUSTABIT was created because you used to build mining rigs after a while, and it just sits there in the corner and it makes all the noise and heat. And you thought to use the underlining technology, which was blockchain, to start a travel startup. And you were trying to figure out which part of the travel industry you wanted to go into, and came upon the airline industry. First off, what is blockchain technology? Because in my research, I was like, man, I really wish I knew what blockchain technology was. But like, I was already like, whoa, there's so much like here. But what is blockchain technology, and what was it about the airline industry that made the most sense to start with?
I think starting like with what is blockchain, the simplest way I can describe it is that it's just a database. So it's like how Excel can be turned into a database, but the difference is that you can't change it. You can only add to it. And if I make a change to it, so if all of us share this Excel document and I want to make a change to it, all of you have to agree that the change that I'm adding is correct. And then once we all agree, you get something called consensus. Then I get to add to the Excel document. So that's just in a nutshell, like what it is. But as far as like applying it to the airline industry, I kind of wanted to apply it to something where it made sense. Because a lot of times, like, when you talk to people and they were doing like blockchain, they would be like, well, you know, we're trying to make this part of the movement go 53 decibels. What are you talking about? Like, I wanted to have something that applied to everyone. Like, look, what I'm trying to do is, when your flight is delayed, normally get a digital, you get a paper voucher. You have to stand in line for it. What I'm trying to do is automate that process so it's and you can just use it and go scan to any of the vendors. So it makes sense with that way.
Nice. In regards to TRUSTABIT, how has your focus on the European and Asian markets, as opposed to the U.S. market, played a part in the flow of business? Because I know that you mentioned, I know in my deep dive research, that there's a law in place governing flight delays. I had no idea.
Yeah, most of us don't, because in the U.S. they don't really pay their, it's like, oh, if I'm delayed for 4 hours, okay, fine, you get some water, you'll be okay. But actually, the European Union, they set up laws to say, okay, if you're for more than 2 hours, the airline has to provide you X, Y, and Z. Now, that could be digital vouchers, and that made me focus on the European market more because they actually had like a regulation set up for it and like an incentive for the airlines to do it. And then also here in the US, like it's like a monopoly. You only have a few airlines that you can work with, and just imagine trying to get something in like Southwest Airlines or Delta. It's a long process, but you can go, overseas and try to work with Scoot Airlines, which are like these low cost carrier airlines, and it's less red tape to kind of get through and be able to talk to someone who actually can make some decisions.
Nice. All right, Shana, you next up on Heads Up.
All right. Okay. Ready? Oh, Old Town Road.
Oh.
Yes.
Now if I don't. Oh, okay.
Well, you were outside. It's mandatory to get
A mask? A face mask?
Yes.
No, yeah. There you go.
Okay.
Better not bring your kids.
Oh, Ashley Larry.
Wait, what?
Ashley Larry.
Dave Chappelle?
There we go. Clayton Bigsby out here.
Was it?
Yeah. So she helped win Georgia with the votes. She turned Georgia into red
My eyes aren't that good. You gotta come in a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's all good. Black vote spin out.
Stacey, April.
Oh, time's up.
Did it go?
Oh. Woo.
That was a good one.
I'm gonna drink on those.
That was fun.
I'm gonna drink on those. Kind of, I guess, mentioning Clayton Bigsby. Stay with me with this very long-winded question, but Saritta, technology has always, like we said, has always been in your life from 8 years old to being a star basketball player, and then you followed your passion from the game to college, but you realized you weren't inspired by your major at the time, which was hotel management, and then you left to join the U.S. Navy, where you worked as a cryptologic technician, making and breaking secret codes. Super dope, by the way. Afterwards, you got your degree in computer information systems, and then you began your tech career. You've been about this tech life out here. When you go to a tech conference or panel, many times you're the only Black woman there. How has that impacted venture capital funding for you? And has it changed with the Black Lives Matter movement initiatives for investors?
Oh, that's a good one. It affects venture capitalism like a lot. I mean, we've only raised like 115,000. And we had working product. When, I feel like sometimes I'm on the stage, I'm pitching, and I'm looking like Beyonce, just full outfit on, I'm ready, hair done, crimping curl, pitch is perfect. And you have, a white cis girl behind me, and they are like in flip-flops, they have on penguin shorts, and people are just throwing money at them for ideas. And it just gets frustrating. Just to hear people say, "Oh, you're not ready. Come back later." It's just like, okay, I kind of just stopped going after venture capitalists. I said, let me just focus on getting actual customers and just let that be my main set. But I'm not sure if it's changed now. I mean, I see a lot of people, a lot of initiatives are like throwing money at Black founders. I feel like they're throwing 50,000, 100,000, but that really doesn't make a big impact. Like if you go write the check, write it for $1 million, because that's what we need. I think it's it helps their brand to say that they're listening and Black people, but I really haven't seen like that big change yet.
And here's the difference. I just want to add this because you taught me this, is that a lot of VCs and these firms, they'll say, we support Black and brown founders, we support women founders, but when you look at their portfolio, that's not what it's going to show. So that's the way to really see if they're walking the walk, or are they just saying, we'll offer you guidance, or we'll give you mentorship, or, here's 50 grand, make it into $1 billion product. Isn't going to happen. So, that's the way to really tell, is not what they say, but really what's in their portfolio.
Yeah, exactly. And now with Shana, as I like to say, 2020 has really pressed folks to make decisions and make the time in quarantine to follow their passions. And that's something that you've done. And you worked with the BJ's Restaurant PR team in their campaign surrounding Black Lives Matter. And that was actually through a connection with your past employer, and you had left for a new company, but then COVID happened, and like many, you lost your job and decided to freelance, which led to starting your new company. Since you had a good relationship with your past employer, you went back and pitched diversity training, which led to BJ's, who was a client of theirs, with Black Lives Matter being a movement for quite some time. What was it about now that inspired you to create a company focused on diversity and inclusion?
Oh, well, I've always been super focused on diversity. And I'll back up a little bit and give some background. So I left my previous agency on March 16th. It was my last day of work. I was leaving to come to a new city and start a new job. And I left at the very beginning of a pandemic, which is what ended my would have been my new job, right? So the freelancing piece was always there. It was something that I did as sort of, we all have our side hustles, right? And I was working with startups doing branding support, marketing, copywriting, things like that. And there was always diversity just as an underlying factor, just because it's what I believe in, and it's the way that I produce work. After the death of George Floyd, we saw so many companies who have never said anything about, may have never said anything about caring about diversity or, as a piece of you see all the black squares and you see the B square and we're here for you. And some of those messages fell, some of them did a great job. Some of them fell so flat. And I just realized, wow, like these companies, they have marketing teams that they're paying so much money to that they can put up whatever smoke and mirror they want and say, look how much we're doing. But when you really look at it, it's all just that, smoke and mirrors, right? So once that happened, is when I really took the next step and really pushed forward and said, look, if I see, a messaging that I don't like, I'm going to reach out to that company and say, hey, I saw this messaging. You missed the mark. Can I help you? And honestly, that's what I've started doing. And part of it has to do with keeping good relationships, keeping a rapport. I left my company after almost 10 years. It was very difficult, but having kept good standing, I felt comfortable going, hey, I love you guys, but this messaging, not great. Can we make it better? And it just so happened that BJ's was their client. They also needed some support. And that all just, that came to me as well. So that's how that all unfolded. And I mean, there's no time like now. Honestly, I think we should have always been on this, on this march toward incorporating diversity. I think every company needs to do it. Because, hello, you can avoid scandals, Snapchat. So, that's that.
Nice. How has investing in yourself changed the way that you look at business? So both of you, or all of you, actually.
A lot. Before this, and I'm sorry, I guess we can thank the pandemic for this, but I think that a lot of us have really gained a new understanding of work-life balance. And I know personally, I would drive sometimes a 2-hour each way commute per day, and getting that time back to be able to invest it in myself. I never want to do that again. So it's really changed the entire way I think about working. I want to work for me. I want to work toward my goals, and I never want to be in a position to give everything to a company that isn't furthering me as well. So, yeah.
Now, one of the new projects that your company has started and working with is Evan's company, WONDERPENS.
This is one of my bosses.
Now Evan is a 10-year-old artiste, as I should say. Evan, what inspired you to want to start WONDERPENS?
Because my mom got me an iPad and a pencil to spend time and it a lot. But then I noticed I didn't use it as much, and I kind of went for this and I kind of wanted to make my own pen, so that's but I didn't really use that. So you guys surprised me with saying here's you learn if you could try them out and see how they are. and that's just how it kind of went forward until that.
It did.
So it all started from one conversation where Saritta was saying, well, wouldn't it be cool if you could have your own brand?
Yeah.
And then what Evan is describing is the prototypes that we said, here this is, it could be your own brand. And so that's how we learned about like prototyping and coming up with starting your brand from just the ground up.
What's been your favorite part of starting WonderPens?
I think making the packaging. Like,
Oh, yeah, the
packaging things individually. Yeah.
Oh, filling the orders.
Yeah.
She likes filling the orders.
Because you can mix them, right? The pens.
Yeah.
Oh, they're still wet.
They're right here. And she kind of helped like with the design of the package and the colors. What colors would be like the best ones for like a first set? And I had no idea what paint pens were. I just kept talking about it. I said, so is it paint or is it a pen?
It's like paint and one. It's like, yeah. That's one of them.
I was like, so are they markers? And they call them markers. She said, no, they're not markers. It was like learning from her. And I mean, she's kind of like, this TikTok. Learning different things. Like we didn't know what Among Us was. And it was just like, just talking to her. And it's now like we're drawing Among Us everywhere. Like laptop.
She keeps us up to date on like all.
Nice.
This is actually done with WonderPens also. It's even on.
Okay, cool. Super dope. Yeah, I love the packaging of it, and it's I know y'all have a lot of things in the works, like the skin tones, like getting more skin tones and the shades of roses and that kind of thing. Do you have a date of when the WonderPen folks could expect that?
Not yet.
We don't have a date, but we're working on it. We wanted to sort of be like, this is the main, like the original package, and we want to produce add-ons that are like themed that you can add to this.
Or something.
Yeah.
I love that. She's already got her business hat on. She's ready. She's ready to go. I love that. You ready for heads up, Evan? It's your turn.
Yeah. I don't know a lot of these.
I'm gonna need some more champagne. What's that? Oh, you can just grab it from the. It's in the door of the fridge.
Okay, you gotta show us, but don't look at the screen.
Oh,
that one's hard.
I don't know if you were awake to watch that show on NBC.
Yeah, it made me too sad.
Pass.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, this is the girl that sings that underwater song. Oh, show the screen.
Oh, yeah, I don't know how to explain that one. Do you...
Don't make me sing it.
Pass?
Her name sounds like a boy.
Thank you, bro. That was a terrible boy.
She has a boy.
It's all right. That was my fault.
Her first name's
Pass.
Pass. Okay.
You know that song.
So what we have to do now is because of quarantine.
Oh, what we have to do in quarantine.
When they put all the tables away.
You say, give me 6 feet. Get your point. Oh! That's all right. I'm going to drink for you.
Wait, you guys didn't drink on mine.
I got to drink. Hey, I've been.
Take two, everyone.
Now, quarantine has been, speaking of social distancing and quarantine, I know we touched about it a little bit in the beginning, how quarantine life has been. But how has that influenced life with your relationship, the relationship dynamic between you and Saritta, as well as you both and the kids? Because it's 2 kids and 2 adults. How is that working in quarantine life?
I mean, I think it's brought us closer. What do you guys think?
I think it's brought us closer, but kind of apart because it's kind of weird to see you every day.
Yeah, she's probably sick of us by now.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of fun. We try to keep it light. We do karaoke nights. We have dance parties.
Karaoke nights.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll have to have a virtual game night.
Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah.
I,
I've gotten into gaming more. Like my son, he really likes video games, especially like Spider-Man games. So we kind of, and he's definitely Fortnite. So
I'm gonna close it out with heads up on my side.
Okay.
So let me know if y'all can see. Okay. Here we go.
She has knees of titanium.
Oh, what?
Okay.
classic Cardi back.
She's got a what?
They were in the house together.
What? Can I say that?
A what? Oh, Cardi B? Well, wait,
The other person.
Megan Stallion? Sorry. Wow, that was really out of pocket for me. Sorry, I don't mean it, Cardi B. I promise.
Oh, okay.
You can sing the song.
Oh, yeah. She always has a...
She wears a ponytail. Big Sean.
Yes.
Big Sean.
What else did she? You wanted
my time was up.
Ariana Grande.
Oh yeah.
I was trying to.
If you would have said she was licking donuts, I might have known who you're talking about. I think she went into a donut shop and like licked some donuts randomly.
What?
Unless I'm confusing her with one of the other pop stars. I don't know.
I always say nothing as me.
That's
Listen, thank you so much for like joining us today, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate y'all joining us for the relaunch episode. Now, before we get out of here, we usually end on words of wisdom. What are some words of wisdom, and how can the people check you out, find you? And I'll have it in the show notes of how they can find you. But what are some words of wisdom you can leave the people with?
Don't take the wooden nickel.
All of you. What she said?
Don't take wood.
You can't be. What else? If you have a goal, just never give up on it. You have all the time for it.
Nice.
Where can they find you?
Oh, where can they find us? And she's on TikTok.
Power.
I think it's like Power 60. You can also find my friend.
Her website.
Fascinated.com. Yeah. WonderPens.
Yeah.
WonderPensCo.com.
Yeah.
And that's
You can on WonderPens official.
Oh yeah, you can
official is our Instagram. We have so much information. I hope everyone has a pen.
So what's the deal with cryptocurrency before we get out of here?
What's the deal?
What's the deal? I know.
I know Shanna loves cryptocurrency, and we've had this conversation, but TRUSTABIT has gotten into the cryptocurrency game-ish. You were, and then like what happened? Can we promote your cryptocurrency? Like what's going on?
So maybe you should start with crypto versus blockchain.
Yeah, so cryptocurrency and blockchain. So originally, it don't brands you think you're gonna start going down. Like, okay, maybe we need to pivot this. So originally we started with cryptocurrency and it's called a tab. But then once I started going down that path, honestly, I don't see a way for us to use this right now. So let me pivot to another way that I know will bring in some revenue, and let's circle back around. So I think like the best thing is like as far as like supporting us, it's just like, you know, sharing us on social media, or if you we're looking for shops that are in the terminal of the airline, or of the terminal of the airport. So that can be like any shop there that we're starting to work with now, and we're rolling out our prototype for them. So
And that's a big deal, because if you know someone, or if you have an airline shop, people out there listening, and you get in on this promo or this preview, you'll already be locked in even when the price goes up later on.
Okay. Nice. That's a representative right there. That's PR, communication, branding, all of that. I love it. I love it. Evan, you have any words of wisdom for us?
No.
You're still learning in wisdom.
This is a very wise girl, though. Don't let her fool you. Very wise.
I know. This is why I'm over here trying to seek some knowledge right now.
It was something in Chinese.
I know. Yeah. Did we tell you that she speaks Mandarin?
Oh, for real?
I'll see Evan when I grow up, really.
Yeah, see, if you would have said French, we could speak French right now, but I don't know. I think I know maybe one word in Mandarin.
We could all go anywhere. You have Spanish, Mandarin, French.
Nice. I love it. I have a cousin that speaks Japanese. Boom.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, man. Thank you so much for joining us, and I appreciate it again. It's Sunday Fun Day, so drink up. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you on the next Jam Pack.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Critics and the bloggers and the cynics. I remember sitting wishing I was mentioned by these bitches, but it doesn't really matter, cause a sister get it cracking from the front into the back and